Worship is what Abraham did. He had a son called Isaac, and he was commanded by God to take Isaac up to the mountain and sacrifice him. And when it was asked of him what he was going up to the mountain to do, he didn't say he was going up to kill his son or offer his son up to for a sacrifice. What he said was, I'm going up to the mountain to worship. So I define worship as a lifestyle and not an event or a song.
Worship is the way we present ourselves before God in and out of church. Worship is not only when music is playing and people are lifting their hands and somebody is singing. We believe that worship is what we do in and out of where we live, in our secret places and in the open place. What we do here is just a climax of we coming together as one body in unity and lifting up God's name within the lifestyles that we live.
Worship and praise is where the Father lives. It's what God yearns for from His children. So it's what we were made for.
Worship simply means warfare. You know, there's a popular saying that when men pray, God's hands come down. But when men worship and praise God, God comes down Himself. And when we say the Lord is the Lord of hosts, worship is the Lord going before us and behind us. Warfare, victory is assured.
Worship is just your personal time with Jesus. You're letting Him know how much you love Him, not for what He can do, but just for being Him and how good He is, even if He never did anything for you. And that's how I worship God. That's how I worship the Lord. It's just taking time to say, I love you.
Worship is communion with God. It is fellowship with Him. It is just a time to sit and enjoy His presence and just get that communication going with Him and just adore Him and love on Him and just honor Him.
Worship to me is coming into the presence of God and really honoring Him for who He is, and not what He can do for you, but just who He is, that He is God, that He's a mighty God, that He is a holy God, and just that He has allowed us to come into His presence. And that's what worship is to me.
To worship God is to understand who God is. And when I go into worship, I understand that God is my provider, that God is the Alpha and the Omega. I understand that He is everything to me. He is the beginning and the end. And when I go into worship, I lose myself. I lose all my worries, and I just lay at God's feet. And you have to do it for yourself. There are no words that I can tell you that can make you worship, but you have to come and worship with us so that you can have an encounter with God. I cannot worship for you. I can only worship for myself because I know what I want to be delivered from. And I'm just asking you all to come and join us as we worship God, as we look for Elohim, as we look for Yahweh, as we look for the way, the truth, and the light. We just want all of us to come in unity and stand together so that we can understand why we're here and who God is, so that we can walk in His glory and in His goodness.
Worship to me is a time of intimacy. It's a time to go before the Father and express how we really feel about Him, to give Him something, what He requires of us, and that's ourselves. And to just lay before Him in reverence and adore Him. That's what worship is to me. It's a one-on-one time that you can express your love for the Father.
Worship is preserved only from God, and it comes from within. I believe that worship, above all, is a lifestyle. You should live it and do it every day.
To me, worship is life. To me, worship is why I live. So on April 21st, I want to welcome you to TI Boulevard at Christian Fellowship at 6:30. Come on, bring your family, bring your friends. Come and let us together meet with the Most High God. Come together, let us meet with the King of Kings. Come together, let us meet with the Lord of Lords, the Most High God. April 21st at 6:30 p.m. See you there. God bless you.
Jehovah is your name.